Here's a suspenseful tale for you. The Stranger in the Rain. It was a cold, rainy evening when Sarah left the coffee shop. She worked late at her job as a graphic designer, and her deadline had stretched into the evening. By the time she packed up her laptop and stepped outside, the once busy streets were eerily quiet. She popped open her umbrella, tucking her bag under her arm. The streetlights cast long shadows across the slick pavement, and the faint hum of the city was muffled by the downpour. Sarah lived just 5 blocks away, and she had walked this path countless times. Tonight, though, something felt off. She noticed him about halfway home, a man in a dark coat and baseball cap, walking a bit too close for comfort. At first, she brushed it off. It was a public sidewalk, after all, and lots of people wore dark clothes on rainy nights. But as she turned down a smaller, quieter street, she heard his footsteps matching hers. Sarah quickened her pace, her heartbeat thudding louder than the rain on her umbrella. She glanced over her shoulder. He was still there, his face obscured by the shadows and the brim of his cap. She took a sharp left, deciding to go a longer way home to see if he would follow. Her neighborhood was a maze of winding streets and dead-end alleys, perfect for losing someone, if it came to that. But when she turned another corner, her stomach dropped. He was still there. She clutched her phone tightly in her pocket, her mind racing. Should she call someone? Run? She decided to test her theory one more time and crossed the street abruptly. A few moments later, she heard the splash of puddles behind her. He'd crossed too. Sarah's apartment building was just a block away now, but the thought of leading him right to her front door made her skin crawl. She took out her phone and dialed her best friend, Emma. "Hey, can you stay on the phone with me?" Sarah said, trying to keep her voice steady. "What's wrong?" Emma asked, immediately alert. "There's a guy following me. I'm almost home, but—" She didn't finish her sentence. She turned another corner, this time leading away from her building, hoping to throw him off. But now, the man's footsteps grew louder, faster. Panic surged through her as she broke into a run. She darted down an alley, her shoes slipping on the wet pavement. Her breathing was ragged, and her umbrella fell from her hands as she fumbled for the pepper spray in her bag. But before she could pull it out, a hand grabbed her shoulder. She spun around, her heart leaping into her throat. "Miss, wait," the man said, panting and holding something out toward her. It was her wallet. "I think you dropped this back at the coffee shop," he said, his voice calm but a little out of breath. Sarah blinked, her fear melting into embarrassment. She checked her bag. It was her wallet. Oh my God," she stammered. "I thought—" "I'm sorry if I scared you," he said, stepping back with his hands raised. "I tried to catch up, but you started running, and I get it, though. Late night, creepy weather. I'm just glad I caught you." Sarah managed a weak smile, still shaking from the adrenaline. "Thank you. I'm sorry, I freaked out." "No worries," he said, tipping his hat and turning to walk back the way he came. Sarah watched him disappear into the rainy night, her heart still racing. When she finally made it home and locked the door behind her, she collapsed onto the couch. That night, she learned a valuable lesson. Fear and kindness sometimes arrive in the same package. But from then on, she always double-checked her bag before leaving anywhere, and never walked home alone without staying alert.